story of Deputy Sheriff Doug Poppa. He was a top cop who did the right thing and paid dearly for it. Poppa knew a secret that could free a man wrongfully imprisoned for shooting his ex-wife. But when Poppa stepped forward, he was cut down by his own police department.
You know the name Doug Poppa?
Yes, I do. God bless Doug Poppa, an honest cop.
This lawman sacrificed his badge for justice. The high price one cop is paying for telling the truth.
But after Carter was convicted, rumors spread through the sheriff's office that he had been railroaded. The whispers tormented Poppa.
I didn't know if my information had come out at the trial.
All this stuff's going in my head. Should I call up to the defense attorney?
Okay? And I knew if I did that, holy hell would break loose.
I was elated, of course, but then as he testified, I was somewhat concerned for him, because I knew that they were probably going to crucify that man. They deliberately withheld evidence that should have been given to my defense attorneys.
But this November, the court believed Doug Poppa.
Oh my goodness, is this the reception committee?
And on Valentine's Day, William Carter was released on a $50,000 bond and given a new trial.
That's what bothers me about this whole thing. The message you're sending is, see, we did it, Doug. You don't come out, you don't buck the system. No matter what the reason is, you just can basically keep your mouth shut.
What about Doug Poppa, the cop who refused to keep quiet? Angry county officials gave him a suspension, then fired him for his contact with the media.
16 years in combined law enforcement is pretty lousy.
We asked Sheriff John Isom if it wasn't retaliation.
I don't have any comment on it.
If I wouldn't do it all over again, I would take the badge and I would leave it on somebody's desk and get out of police work. Because the day I can tell the truth because somebody's pressuring me, and the day the system doesn't want me to tell the truth because somebody's pressuring me, is the day I'd leave the badge on the desk and walk away.
One man who confronted truth and consequences.
You guys, I'm just now seeing that Jamal Rashid got 3 years. And I'm so relieved that some type of justice was done.
My name is Shanae Davis, and I am a survivor of domestic violence. In 2009, I met Jamal Rashid, aka Mally Mall. I was led to believe that he was my boyfriend and that he was just a producer and that just wanted to take care of me. I shortly learned that he was into illegal activity, and which was a trafficking ring.
The thing is that Jamal Rashid, aka Mally Mall, he did physically and mentally abuse me. You know, I met this man when I was really, really young, you know, and I didn't know anybody in Vegas. I met him. He was coming outside the Hard Rock. I thought I was about to meet Pitbull. That's who I thought it was. It turned out to be this man. And I'm telling you guys, he completely stole my youth from up under me.
So I'm going to finish my story about my relationship with Mally Mall. So when I first met him, first of all, he lied to me about who he was. He convinced me that he was something else besides what he actually was. I remember meeting him, like I told you guys, coming outside of the Hard Rock. When I seen them, he was with an entourage full of people. He sent his friend up to come get me. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm, going to meet Pitbull. I get in the back of the Maybach and I realize, it's not him. So what happens next, right? What happens next is Jamal decides he's going to turn me on to drugs, right? You take over the body, you take over the mind, and then you can pretty much have someone do whatever you want. So Maul pulls out this black baggie, and I look at it, and it's like these crystals, right, that he called Molly. Now this is the first time I had ever seen Molly before, and so he started gloating, and he was bragging about how he had the best Molly, that his was the purest, and he gets his exported from, God knows yonder. And so it seemed kind of peer pressury, so I tried one. For those of you that are not familiar with Molly, Molly is the street name for methylene dioxide methamphetamine, also known as MDMA. It is a drug that enhances your emotions and your feelings. So one of the first things that you'll notice is that you will have a very high sex drive. It's also hallucinogenic, or you might lose the accuracy of time. You never knew what time it was in Maul's house anyway, because the windows are like blacked out. So in the midst of me telling my story, I always get all this backlash or whatever, all these Mally Mall fans, you know, they have so much ugly things to say to me. And the thing is that, you know, people like, oh, you're a rat or whatever. I don't understand how you rat on a rat. That's first of all, okay? Second of all is, I don't understand what's funny about domestic violence. The man verbally and physically abused me and used me for 10 years. This man is threatening me. He's threatening to kill me. I am afraid for my life. Then on top of all of that, there's a hit out for me that he put out. This is much bigger than attention-based purposes. The thing is that if it's out there and I come up missing, then everybody knows who to point the finger at. I've already tried to get a restraining order against this man. I'm not joking around. I did not believe that anything in my life was ever going to change unless I died. And that is the honest truth. I thought I was going to die. Just from the whole entire situation. From the verbal abuse to the physical abuse, just to the lifestyle.
Welcome to Truth and Consequences with Doug Poppa, episode 60 for Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. The video excerpts you just saw are from the YouTube channel of Shanae Davis. I will have the link to her channel in the comments section of this podcast. I cannot vouch for the validity of Miss Davis's claims. However, it is my opinion that her comments are indeed newsworthy. Longtime Las Vegas pimp and hip-hop music producer Jamal Rashid, also known as Mally Mall, is currently incarcerated in the Sheridan Federal Correction Institution located in the state of Oregon. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Rashid's release date is December 15, 2023. According to United States District Court records that I obtained, Jamal Rashid surrendered himself to federal authorities on August 13th of this year. Prior to that, Rashid petitioned the court for an extension on his surrender date, in addition to asking the court to incarcerate him in a minimum security institution, not a medium security institution. United States District Court Judge Gloria M. Navarro responded to Rashid's motions on August 12, 2021, as follows. Pending before the court is defendant Jamal Rashid's motion to extend surrender date. The government filed a response and defendant filed a reply. On October 21, 2019, defendant pleaded guilty to one count of use of an interstate facility in aid of unlawful activity, in violation of 18 United States Code 1952, A3. Defendant was released on bond pending sentencing. Over a year and a half later, on May 13, 2021, the court sentenced defendant to 33 months custody, to be followed by 36 months supervised release. The court ordered defendant to self-surrender for his service of his custodial sentence by 2 p.m. on August 13, 2021. In a motion completely devoid of legal authority, defendant now asserts that his self-surrender date should be extended for two reasons. Number one, defendant discovered a mass on his thigh, which requires a CT scan and biopsy to determine whether further treatment is required. Defendant knew of this potential health issue since at least July 14, 2021, and yet coincidentally, defendant did not schedule his biopsy until August 12, 2021, the day before his self-surrender date, and number two, defendant was unexpectedly designated to a medium security facility because of a mistake in his pre-sentence report. Defendant argues that an extension is necessary to allow him to continue his potential treatment plan and to investigate and correct the alleged error in his pre-sentence report. The court finds that both of these arguments are without merit. First, defendant fails to articulate a reason why his speculative condition could not be adequately treated while he is in the custody of the Bureau of Prisons. The Bureau of Prisons Health Services Division is, quote, responsible for medical, dental, and mental health psychiatric treatment provided to federal inmates in Bureau of Prisons facilities, including health care delivery, infectious disease management, and medical designations, unquote. By attempting to delay his custodial sentence for the purpose of receiving medical treatment outside of a designated Bureau of Prisons facility, defendant essentially asks the court to presume deliberate indifference to a serious medical need, and the court can find no reason to do so. Second, under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure, parties must state any objections to the pre-sentence report within 14 days of receiving it. Additionally, courts have the discretion to entertain late objections prior to sentencing when good cause is shown. Here, the probation office prepared defendant's original pre-sentence report on February 20th, 2020. On March 4th, 2020, defendant submitted 6 formal objections to the pre-sentence report, each of which was addressed at defendant's sentencing hearing on May 13th, 2021. Defendant now attempts to raise an entirely new objection that was neither included in his timely filed formal objections nor raised as an objection for good cause at his sentencing hearing. In the 15 months between his receipt of the pre-sentence report and his sentencing, defendant's new objection to the pre-sentence report, which concerns information on defendant's 1996 arrest for sexual intercourse with a minor under 18. Defendant had ample time to review and object to the pre-sentence report, and as such, a new attempt to object does not provide a viable reason to further delay his custodial sentence. Defendant must self-surrender as scheduled, and the court will not entertain any further meritless delay tactics. Accordingly, it is hereby ordered that defendant's motion to extend surrender date is denied. Defendant is ordered to self-surrender by 2 p.m. on Friday, August 13th, 2021. Signed, August 12, 2021, Gloria M. Navarro, District Judge, United States District Court. In May of this year, after Jamal Rashid was sentenced, several celebrity media outlets ran articles stating that Jamal Rashid made allegations of wrongdoing against FBI Special Agent Kevin White, who was involved in the investigation into Rashid's prostitution business that led to his conviction. One such article was published by Hollywood Unlocked on May 13, 2021, written by Ariella Annis, which is titled, Mally Mall Says Crooked FBI Agent Blackmailed Him into Pleading Guilty in Prostitution Case. They wanted me to snitch on my friends. I ain't 6'9". According to the article, Rashid gave an interview to the Neighborhood Talk, in which he said that his guilty plea was to 1 count of use of an interstate facility in aid of unlawful activity, something Rashid claims has nothing to do with prostitution. Quote, I had to take a plea deal to keep from doing 5 to 10 years for something I didn't do. Rashid says a, quote, obsessed FBI agent, identified as Kevin White, was willing to do whatever for a big case, including coercing and threatening women to speak out against him in exchange for money. Rashid also claimed, according to the article, that FBI Special Agent Kevin White tried to blackmail him into ratting out his, quote, cop friends, who may or may not have been involved. He says, quote, I ain't no 6'9". I'm going to do the time because I'll never snitch on nobody, but the things they're saying about me aren't true. Now that I've been sentenced, I can finally tell my side, unquote. The article goes on to say that eventually Agent White was pulled from Rashid's case, but after he'd already taken the plea deal. Now my comments. When Rashid remarked that he's no 6'9", he was making reference to Daniel Hernandez, a rapper who goes by the name of 6'9". Hernandez testified in 2019 as a government witness against fellow gang members to avoid a lengthy prison sentence. Regardless of what Rashid said, he did accept the government's pre-indictment plea deal that stated From April 2002 to September 2014, Rashid operated, owned, and managed several businesses in Clark County, Nevada, that purported to offer legal escort services, and that Rashid carried on an unlawful prostitution business through those same escort businesses. Rashid accepted that plea agreement in 2019, and in May of this year, Rashid at his sentencing hearing admitted to the court that he ran an illegal prostitution business. Then after his sentencing hearing in U.S. District Court, Rashid, according to that article, is now saying he did nothing wrong and made unsubstantiated claims against FBI agent Kevin White. The government said Rashid trafficked hundreds of women, sent many of them across the country, and that Rashid made millions from his illegal prostitution business. In short, Jamal Rashid, aka Mally Mall, profited off the female victims of his sex-trafficking enterprise. He was a pimp. In my prior reporting, I have opined that Rashid got off light, considering he was running a criminal enterprise for 12 years and financially benefited from his illegal activity, making millions of dollars, according to the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Nevada. But I have to ask this question. Was something amiss in the 5+ year FBI Las Vegas Division investigation into Rashid that forced the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Nevada to offer Rashid a pre-indictment plea deal of just one count? I have seen nothing to date that the government is seizing the millions of dollars they say Rashid profited from. Why is that? And who were the high-profile clients that were paying up to $10,000 for one of Rashid's prostitutes? Who was protecting who here? And what is the government's complicity in this? Who are they protecting? Why haven't any of the clients' names been made public? And why is it that they were not charged? The clients aren't victims. The victims are the female prostitutes. The clients are part and parcel of the crime. According to the article I referred to earlier, Rashid said that Special Agent Kevin White wanted him to rat out his cop friends. As you know from my prior reporting, allegations were that Rashid had some corrupt Las Vegas Metro police officers on his payroll to protect his criminal activity and to target rival pimps. No Las Vegas Metro police officers have been charged, but you have to wonder, how was it that Jamal Rashid ran his 12-year prostitution business right under the noses of Las Vegas Metro Police, Vice, and criminal intelligence detectives for years? Keep in mind, it was the FBI who made the case against Rashid, not the Las Vegas Metro Police or the Clark County, Nevada District Attorney's Office. As for FBI Special Agent Kevin White, I am the only investigative journalist to date who has wrote and spoke about Agent White extensively, both in print and on my podcast, about White's contact with now former Las Vegas Justice Court Judge Melanie Andrus Tobiasen. If you remember from my May 2018 interview with Tobiasen, she claimed she was providing information about police corruption and underage prostitution to Special Agent Kevin White, and according to Tobiasen, there came a time when Kevin White told her that then Las Vegas Metro Police Assistant Sheriff Todd Fasulo called his supervisor, then Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Las Vegas FBI office, Patrick Brodsky, to have White stop talking to Judge Tobiasen. If true, then apparently the Las Vegas Metro Police control the FBI Las Vegas Division, and with just one phone call to the Bureau, the police department can squash an agent's investigation, or at the least, who's he talking to? If I was running the United States Department of Justice, I would have the Office of the Inspector General initiate an investigation into the FBI Las Vegas Division and the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Nevada's handling of this entire matter. I will have a few links relating to White and Tobiasen in the comments section of this video. Much more to come in future episodes. Thanks for listening, folks.
for 10 years without